Hello, this is Murray Campbell, and we're going to talk today about Sprint 2 of GAM 377. Uh, this week we added AABB collision, as well as the ability for the user to select the bounding collision volume and have the system just like perform all of the calculations itself and under the hood and all of that. So that's good. We added that. That's great. I'm gonna quickly just play and show you what I've done. So we did that. I also am doing an audio system. So you'll hear that in a second. Right now I just have like a simple system and I'll explain it in a little bit. So anyways, we got the AABB. It updates all nice and well. We have collision across different bounding volumes. That's good. Collision with the volumes works as well. And then some basic sound. This will be really, really loud, so turn down your speakers like right now. Okay, here we go. Cool. So now you've seen that. All right. So let's move into this. Nothing like not much like different to see here other than the addition of the AA double B, the AABB volume. Collidable has a collision volume now. It's all good. And then here's my audio manager. It's just one class right now. It's a singleton. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's just take a look at some of the basic stuff. I know this was, you said this was important, and I made sure to do it. With my intersect functions for my math class, it's like distributed across multiple functions, so we're not just doing a bunch of code in one intersect function. So intersect calls this AABB overlap, and that returns this function on intervals, all of that. That's good. Then here we've got this like intersect for the cross bounding volumes that like clamps and stuff like that. We see this function here, point inside sphere, all of that. That's good. What else? We've got like this collision volume stuff set up. It's all well and good. The double dispatch pattern that we learned this week was like really difficult for me at first to wrap my head around, but then when I tried implementing it and I hit my head up against it for a couple hours, it started making more sense. And then when it finally clicked and worked, it was like, oh, this this totally makes sense to me now. So this is good. I have like these pure virtual functions here that are defined in the base class, and in each other class, or in each collision volume class, we tell it to intersect on this, tell the other to intersect on this, which like will give me that free cast, and then we can have our separate intersect functions and call the correct intersect functions in math tech, which is going to be great because the type, it'll know the type going in, so it'll know which intersect function to call. It's great. It works. I'm happy, having a good time. That's great. Yeah, so we did that. Now, I guess I'm going to talk about what I'm doing for my side project. Basically, I'm doing an audio system. You heard it before. It's super bare bones right now. It's just contained in this one class right here, which is Audio Manager. I'm using Fmod as my like low level library, and it is fine. It was a little bit weird getting it, trying to include it into the project, and I'm not familiar with like how that works yet, so I had to learn like figure it out and learn and stuff like that. But like I added it as an additional include directory. I had to do another thing here with the linker, or actually I didn't. Never mind. But once I did this, I could use it in the project But that wasn't enough because there are DLLs that are files that are linked up to. Hang on, there are DLL files that are linked up to the libraries that the engine needs to access, that the library needs to access and needs access to in the build. So here's how that looks. In my fmod folder in the lib, you have these DLLs right here, but the system doesn't know that these are here, because it looks for them either in the system32 folder, and I couldn't put those DLLs in there because that's not contained within the project, and we're moving this project around. So I needed a way to put it, like the other alternate place to put it was in the output directory, which is where I put it, and that like works. However, the other caveat to that is that when we clean the project for submission, this debug folder gets deleted. Not to worry though, I added a custom or a build event, a post build event that basically copies all of the DLL files from that fmod lib folder and puts it in the output directory. If they already exist there, it'll check to see if there are any new changes and replace them, and if not, it'll keep them there, basically like that. So that was cool and took me a little bit to figure out, but now it's there and now I know how that works. So that's good stuff. This audio manager works kind of like an asset manager right now, where you have like these load files, and then load resources. You load your you load the audio files, assets that you want, and that makes sense because these are part of assets. I have a new folder called assets, or called audio, in my assets folder. You see that here. And it's like the basic map system. You have a string, and that returns a sound. Fmod is like really cool. I like it. Specifically working with that, I have a get function that returns the sound pointer. It's all good. Getting fmod up and running just with like the basic default settings is like really simple. I just had to like have a system, this system thing, and then this result thing that gets reassigned for some reason. I was just following this example. They have like a ton of, here I can bring it up, in the actual API. They just have all these examples to look at, and to look at like different implementations. They have like 3D sound and reverb effects and things like that. I just wanted to play a sound, so I basically did this and interpreted this for my system. So that was good. I also had to take a good look at the documentation in certain places, like for example to know that channels and sounds, or channels, audio channels will be handled for you if you don't explicitly define them, but you can, like, I decided not to, just because I was just playing with a sound on one channel. I learned a lot today. This was good. Yeah, it's like, this was like really easy to get set up, so I'm excited to kind of like compare systems with other people and figure out like what other features I need to implement, how to make this a lot more robust as a system. I want the user to be able to take a sound that they've loaded and then like apply settings to it, like give it, and apply those settings anywhere. Like you can do it in load resources when you load the file, or you could even you could just do it like in one of your user files whenever you want, so you can change sounds on the fly and things like that. Yeah, so like I'll figure out how to do that, but like doing things like adding reverb or distortion or changing the pan, you know, like the stereo sounds or whatever, things like that. I need to take a look at other implementations of sound systems and see how they do it as well, but yeah, this is good for now, and I like it. Just a quick thing, just to see how the user accesses, how the user plays a sound. They call audio managers. It's a singleton, the play sound function, and then they get a sound from the audio manager. It's like a asset manager slash sound thing. This might be bad. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But it like it works right now, and it's good. Warning. Man, I love that. Hearing that sound, like when I like set this up and played it for the first time, and it just worked right away. Man, that felt good. Okay. So that's it. Thank you. Have a good day.